Man, oh man. What a good time to be a Tomb Raider fan, huh? Oh. Let's cut the music. Boom. Hello everyone. What's up? What's up? We'll see if this works today. I'm still a little... I'm not... I mean, I guess technically I am still sick, you know? The worst has passed, dude. Wednesday was rough. It was like snot was running out of my nose like water half of the time. My head was just like stuck. It felt like my eyes were gonna pop out of my skull. It was rough. It's gotten a lot better on the nose front, but now my throat is kind of acting up a little bit. Like I've been coughing a little bit today. But we'll see if the stream works. I mean, I can hear my own voice being like a little raspy, you know. Taking like some of these tablets for my throat, so hopefully they'll help. Other than that, you know, I could not be a more happy camper with all the Tomb Raider news. Oi, oi, oi. I've been like, nom 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 nom. It's been so fucking good. Tomb Raider fan and me persuading the Half-Life fan. Do people... Where do people get it that like Half-Life 3 is gonna happen? Like maybe at some point it will. But like, I'm sure if Half-Life 3 actually happens, it's gonna come out of nowhere. Because like, there's no way Valve hasn't done anything. Like internally, there must already been files, ideas, art, whatever, you know. So there's I think if it were gonna leak, it happened a long time ago. But yeah, it's I've saw a lot of people expecting Half-Life 3, and that was to me kind of surprising. And I think it's bonus surprising that the last game they've shown at the Game Awards, you know, think about it. It's like a 3.5 hour long show. They show all kinds of trailers, and then right at the end, the final big trailer, you're like, okay, here we go, the big reveal. And it's like some hero shooter. I don't even remember what the name is. It was like the most random nonsense I've ever seen in my life. I was like, how is this the last reveal, dude? You've shown 2 Tomb Raider games. Bevel teased an enormous announcement. This is the card game thing. Dude, we are bringing back, what was it called again? Absolute or something? Something with A. Not Absolute. Shit. Artifact. That's what it was. Artifact. Yeah, the Twitch porn category. Does anyone remember that time period? Oh my lord. That was crazy. That game failed so hard. The Twitch game category was starting to get used for gambling and porn and like watching TV shows and shit. People were broadcasting it on that category because nobody was looking there. It's crazy. True Half-Life fans want Half-Life 2 episode 3. Oh my god, episode 3. Let's fucking go. Dude, I feel like if Valve really wants to be like, you know, like Half-Life 3, even though, you know, if they make it, first of all, I'm very curious how that would even go. I was about to say that would be a super success anyway, but you know, I think the expectations are so high. If it's just an alright good game, it's probably not gonna, or maybe people are gonna, you know, dick ride them anyway. Kind of like with From Software. It doesn't matter what game they make, people are gonna dick ride it. But I was about to say, what if they did out of nowhere, right? They're like, we know you've been waiting for Half-Life 3, and then like they reveal Half-Life 3, you know, boom, 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 and then the trailer ends, and it's like One of 4 games of the Orange Box 2. Dude. Oh, can you fucking imagine if they do that? They're like, guess what? Orange Box 2. There's an episode 3. Then there's Half-Life 3 full on. Portal 3. Left 4 Dead 3. That would be crazy. How's the hero shooter thing? Valve was... Wait, they're doing a hero shooter? I didn't even know. What's even the last game Valve made? The last one I know is Half-Life Alyx. Have they made anything since then? I thought they just did Steam these days and don't give a shit about anything else. Or I guess the Steam machines. You know, like the Steam Cube and the Steam Deck. I think that's what they're mostly doing. I didn't know they had another shooter game. High guard. Synonyms for over and watch? But I guess so. Is watch guard? I guess like the word overwatch implies, you know, like I know that from Warhammer. That is a defensive maneuver, but high guard. It's kind of funny, but I don't... Dude, it was such a random fucking thing. Like, how the fuck do you have a trailer for that game, but also for 2 new Tomb Raider games, and you as the showrunner are like, yeah, Tomb Raider needs to be like halfway. And this random ass bullshit game at the end. More of a third-person MOBA. Deadlock is an early access. Deadlock? I don't think I've ever heard of that. What is Deadlock? What is Deadlock? The first video I can find is Deadlock. Best highlights and funny moments. Number 397. So if anything, people are farming clips probably gathered with some AI, slapped together in a video, you know. What is Deadlock? A year ago? I mean, I guess it still exists. So, you know. I love, dude, it's so fun being like outside of a community. Like I'm scrolling and there's literally a video that says, from 2 months ago, Deadlock is about to change gaming forever. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know it existed. I don't think it's changing anything. Ultimate Beginner Guide. It's all like months old. I mean, there's some more recent stuff, but that all seems to be like clip compilations and stuff. Man, that's ass. Man, that's ass. Gaming will change because now there's a Valve game called Deadlock. Technically, in the history of gaming, a change has happened. I mean, true. Play one game and uninstalled when the teammates shout at me. Ugh. That's why I hate multiplayer games, dude. I love playing multiplayer stuff, but the moment you need to hear other people, it's just like a job or really anything in real life. Most people, when they open their mouths, I kind of wish they didn't. Oh. There was hype around it when it launched in early access, but I haven't heard anything since. I feel like that's gonna be one of those things where it's probably like in a specific circle of like streamers and stuff that it's like really hype, and then it just dies out because this is, I've found with a lot of multiplayer games, you know, like how often I've heard like, oh, there's this new shooter and it's made by fucking Shroud or like supported by Shroud. Oh, and there's this new fucking game. Now you have to leave Tarkov. It's the sickest shit ever. And now, like now it's Arc Raiders. Like there's these multiplayer games. There's constantly a new one. And when there's a new one that's the hype thing now, the previous one just dies out. There really is no staying power to any of these games. There's like exceptions, Fortnite and stuff, you know. those are the exceptions, but for 99% of them, they just come and go. You know, they're like the fad of the month, you know. And I feel like Deadlock definitely is probably one of them. I never even heard of it, so you know, or if I've heard of it, I've already forgotten about it, which, you know, I'm willing to bet if you pull up like some of my streams from last year, somewhere in there there's gonna be like a minute where it's like, look at Deadlock, what's this? Or like it was in an award show or something. And it just goes ear in, ear out. There can only be one. People don't have infinite time to play games after all. Yup. Yup. Which is why I feel single player games reign supreme. To me, that's like the best form of gaming anyway. Anyway, let's look at some trailers, shall we? Because Tomb Raider, I want to talk about it. I want to look at it again. I've watched this trailer a couple times now. Oh, man. Tomb Raider 2013 would have never advertised with wetsuit outfits. I feel times are changing, like you said. Yeah, that's literally what I thought to myself as well. It's like, oh, the pendulum is swinging back a little bit, you know. It definitely, times are definitely changing again, and you know, it's gonna balance out in like a because I mean, let's look at the trailers first. I'll get back to that point later, but it is interesting to see. Here we go. This is Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the new mainline game that's coming out in 2027.
The entire world knows your legend. You survived the Dragon's Triangle. Crossed the threshold to Atlantis.
I love how they focus on the wire. I'm gonna talk over it. I've watched this a couple times now. I love how they focus on the wire thing.
But I say, all legends must come to an end.
And then the focus on all legends, really rubbing it in there. That's stolen from Legends.
That's where you're wrong. I'm just getting started.
I will say though, this is gonna, like, I've looked at this when first showed at the Game Awards. I was like, I don't know about it. Then later on, as the trailer goes on, it's like, okay, I see the vision, right? Then I saw the remake of Tomb Raider 1, which is the next one. I was like, holy shit, she looks totally different. I've done the crazy thing. I haven't posted it on like Twitter or something because I'm not that crazy. But I've done the crazy thing where I've taken this, I cut it out, pasted it in Paint, went to the other trailer, pasted out a close-up of her face, pasted it in Paint. The face is actually pretty similar. The hairstyle of this one just kind of sits a bit weird, you know? It's like the forehead is a little, like, I don't know what it is, but if you put them side by side, the models of the two games, I think the earlier one is a little different, where it's like the face is a little rounder, you know, which I think it makes sense. She's supposed to be a lot older in this game, so it makes sense she might be a little more toned when it comes to that. But I think the hairstyle, whatever they've done, because it's like, it's a bit weird on the sides as well with like a braid or something. It might look cool in game, but
I'm just getting started.
I'm not sure if it's doing her favors. I mean, otherwise it looks sick, right? Like if you look at this shot, like this looks sick, right? But yeah, look at her hair. It's like the braided to the side. I think that's what's giving that, you know, some people find it a bit weird looking. I think that's what it, because if you look at the face, the shape in general, like this is perfectly normal, right? She looks good. And you're probably, you know, it's a modern game. Chances are There's gonna be different outfits, potentially different hairstyles, who knows? Or maybe it'll change throughout the game because she's in different areas. Who knows? I think the age I've seen thrown around for Catalyst is 35, placed on Survivor's birth date. Yeah, that makes sense. They've also, I'm gonna pull it up later, they've also done an interview with Games Radar, and there they mentioned specifically, which is interesting, they mentioned specifically that Catalyst is a couple of years after the events of Underworld, which is interesting that they specifically mentioned Underworld, which means, at the very least, the general events of Underworld, and in turn Anniversary Legend, happened in this lore, right? Because otherwise, why would they say it's a couple years after this event? Watch more. We are. It's a new game, but also Tomb Raider 1 remaster. Start. Here we go.
It's been years.
Same voice actress. She does sound like a little bit higher, I think, but maybe that's just
But the events
me looking
are
for
still
differences.
etched in my memory.
But she might be, like, literally that could just be the voice direction. Like, she's a lot younger here. Just a slight pitch up a little bit. Just in case.
Lost worlds. Frozen in time. New discoveries. Waiting behind every door.
Dude, this is so sick. This does remind a lot of Anniversary, which, you know, is interesting.
I didn't know then the path this adventure would send me on.
Yeah, like this is the jumping, dodging thing.
Is it lit a fire
Straight out of Anniversary and Legend,
that
right?
still burns? I need to see more. I need to go further. To uncover the secrets of Atlantis. Some legends
This is
are
so fucking
destined
sick,
to be
dude.
retold.
Legacy of Atlantis. Dude, this is, as a Tomb Raider fan, I'm also like, you know, I'm like in the social media world, I'm like following a lot of Tomb Raider accounts and stuff. So I'm like in the loop a little bit on like the general feelings of this. I mean, most people who are into Tomb Raider are very excited, you know, where usually there's a pretty big divide between Survivor fans and pre-Survivor fans. This seems to excite everyone, you know. This is like, for most people, they see the vision, they see like, okay, clearly the more, you know, later in life, Lara Croft, who has like the larger than life ego and stuff, you know. She's very confident. She's, you know, she's a girl boss, as they say these days. Oh, it's so exciting, dude. It's so fun. It's also, they've been talking for so long about like the unification of the timelines and stuff. Because, you know, I think it's mostly, I mean, I guess they always change it. So Legends is different from the older ones, is different from Survivor. I think they specifically mentioned, hold on, let me pull that up. I think it was Games Radar. Yes, sir. Don't sign me up. Damn it. Boing. Games Radar picks up years after Underworld, finally continuing the story for almost 2 decades. All right. Don't worry though, it's designed for everyone. So I mean, the way they explain it is basically like, you know, if you know all the old lore, that's cool. There's going to be references, but it is a new story in the new game. So, you know, if you have a gist, it's kind of like if you're going to watch a Batman movie, if you have an idea of who Batman is and like you've heard of Robin, 9 times out of 10, you can follow along. You don't need all the old fucking lore. This is kind of going to be the same thing. Anyway, from a timeline perspective, Catalyst said years after the events of Underworld, which again, they specifically mentioned the events of Underworld, which means they must be canon. To what extent? We'll find out, I guess. With the reboot trilogy serving as her origin story. So we're seeing a more experienced Lara Croft. So, I mean, he really doesn't mention that much more because, you know, it's very early, but, you know, keen to point out they don't need to bust out their 360s to follow along, you know, to replay Underworld. Even though you should, it's a sick-ass game. But yeah, small blurb, but for the, you know, in the trenches fans, fun to know that Underworld exists, but also the reboot trilogy is serving as her origin story. So, I mean, I guess we kind of figured that out with this trailer because as a lot of people instantly recognized, this necklace is specifically from the Survivor era. Lara Croft did not have this before. The fact that this is here already confirmed that is, you know, specifically in the canon. Yeah, it's really going to be interesting because the way it sounds, it's like it's wholesale, you know, canon. It's not, right? Because if Underworld is canon and the reboot trilogy, something has to give because the situation with her parents and whatever is completely different in these eras. So, you know, but I mean, it does kind of make it feel like at least, so here's where I'm at, right? Because immediately I'm thinking Underworld. Underworld is built off of the whole thing with Natla and whatever from the first game, right? Which, but it also, it mixes with Legend. You know, it's basically just the original game and then Legend and Underworld in continuation of lore. So that is canon-ish. We'll see to what extent. And then the reboot trilogy. So, like, are they going to touch things like Angel of Darkness? Is that going to be a thing? Are they just sticking to, we'll take what we need from the reboot as like the origin? We'll take what we need from the Natla storyline up until Underworld to then continue with Catalyst? Or are they going to also pick elements from Tomb Raider, True, Tree, whatever, you know? Angel of Darkness, who knows? That is still all up in the air, but it's exciting. And I'm willing to bet this game, The Legacy of Atlantis, it's obviously cool to have a remake of the first game. I think, you know, we've seen this like as a strategy almost. The amount, like, we've just had this happen with Ninja Gaiden, where they drop, like, it wasn't a full remaster for Ninja Gaiden, but, you know, like an older game, remade, remastered, whatever, to then drop the new game, you know, kind of as like a appetizer, you know, like, let's see what we can do, and then we'll continue on from that. I feel like that's kind of what they're going for here. Like, hey, if you haven't played Tomb Raider, or, you know, let's get excited for it, here's Tomb Raider 1, but in the new engine, in Unreal 5 and whatever, right? But at the same time, I think this is clever what they're doing, because if Survivor is the origin story and up until Underworld is like what happened in between, they're gonna have to change or merge those stories in some way. And I think remaking the first game, this is gonna set the lore for specifically that in-between point, right? Because this is after Survivor, pre Underworld. So this game is going to set up a lot of the core canon lore that's going to, you know, carry on to the new game. It's actually a clever way of, you know, it's kind of like merging the marketing, but also like a good setup for, you know, unifying the timelines. I think it's actually a great idea. I love it. Will this make Tomb Raider 1 first game with 2 full remakes? Can't think of another on top of my head. Probably not, but it's not going to be a long list either, because it would have to be all old games. And yeah, this might be the first one which has 2 remakes of the same full game. Though again, this one might be a little different. I think Anniversary was pretty faithful to the original lore. They changed details around, but nothing major. This one might actually deviate quite a bit, depending on what pieces of the lore they want to keep or not. Because if this is after Survivor, this also means that Jonah's around, Sam is around, or maybe not, maybe they died at this point. Who the fuck knows, right? We haven't seen them in the Catalyst trailer either. But if this is true and Underworld exists, that means the Underworld crew exists as well. Zip, whatever the fuck the other guy's name was, I don't know. I know Zip is in the anime, in the Netflix anime, so he is already canon. Same with Jonah and Sam. They're in the Netflix anime as well. Dude, I'm so fucking excited for this. Oh my god. Well, we got news blurbs. I don't think there's much new information here. So this is just powered by Unreal 5, both of them. Also, I saw this on Twitter, which is interesting to me. Legend of Atlantis is like co-developed, I guess, with another studio. Damn, am I gonna say it now? The ads just started playing. Anyone who's not dodging the ads is gonna miss it. I'll wait a little bit with telling this piece, because it's an interesting piece that you're not gonna find in here. I mean, it's like a little detail, whatever. Yeah, and the voice actress, she's done a lot of stuff. I don't really specifically know her for anything other than I know her as Aya from Assassin's Creed Origins. That's a big role that I know. The characters in these games, for example, I don't know them. But she sounds good. Sounds good. I got an ad for Twitch Turbo earlier, selling me the benefit of not having to see ads. Things like Twitch Turbo or like YouTube Premium always strike me as funny, because if everyone collectively decided to go for Twitch Turbo, Twitch would go bankrupt. Like, it would be losing money. Like, ads make so much more money for these platforms because the people who do the advertisements pay way better to platforms like Twitch than what your $5 or $10 a month would ever give them. You know? Though I guess if every YouTube user out there would pay for premium, like 10 or whatever it is a month, like, that's a fuck ton of money. But is it more than the ads are bringing them? That's... I think they would actually lose money if everyone switched to subscriptions. I think they're kind of banking on most people not doing it. Anyway, what I was saying before the ads were playing. Flying Wild Hog. I don't really know this studio, but what I've seen on Twitter is that already a couple of people who have been in the Tomb Raider community making, for example, you have from the old games Tomb Raider level editor, where people make their own levels, post them online and stuff. We've played one with like the Resident Evil stuff and whatever. a couple of people who are like really into that community, making stages like these really elaborate level maker stages and stuff. Some of them are working with or at Flying Wild Hog. So, you know, we're seeing the same thing as they did with the remasters of, you know, the 1, 2, 3 and the 4 through 6 remasters, or even the Soul Reaver remasters, where they just got a lot of community people who were already modding and doing stuff, right? They just get those people in because they're like, look, you guys are clearly super fans and you want to do this, do it officially. So yeah, that's like a cool little tidbit about this studio. I don't know how many it are, but there's definitely been like a couple on Twitter that are like, yeah, super sick, we've been working on this. It's like, shush, good shit. Then there's also this site with some information. I guess not that much new. I guess you can see the swimsuit, which, you know, obviously exciting. And that's, you know, to your point, they would have never advertised this. Oh man, it's so quiet. Let me put on some. They would have never advertised this like during the Survivor era. They would have never done it. Now they do. So, you know, times are changing. At the same time, though, I'm gonna be honest, more than the times changing, I also think if they were to make Survivor now, they also would not do this pointing in real life. I have to point there, but for you guys there, they would not do it because the way Survivor Trilogy was designed was like, I think they definitely wanted to create a, you know, like a less over the top version. I think classic Lara is very larger than life, very over the top, but on purpose, right? It's like her, you know, like there's people like that in real life who are just, they're, you know, they enter the room and it's like their ego takes up all the oxygen. Those people exist. Classic Lara was kind of like, maybe not the ego part specifically, but like her presence is, you know, larger than life. I think that's the best word, the best way to describe it. And with Survivor, they're like, well, this is the origin. She's definitely not that person. She's not got that confidence yet. She's not had the experience yet. So they all tune that down way more. And I think, you know, Lara at that point would probably not be comfortable doing this kind of shit. So it makes sense that they didn't do it. It also just happens to really align with the times, I guess. The fact that they're comfortable doing this again, it gives me hope. Not that I'm like this, you know, oh, every woman is ugly now and anti-woke and yada yada. Like, I don't give a shit about that. If you want to make a game full of ugly people, I don't care. That's your choice as a developer. And most of the time, these complaints about ugly people are just, they're normal people. They're just not supermodels. So whatever. But I'm glad that we've gotten to the point again where it's kind of like a choice. At least in my head, it feels more like devs can just choose. They can choose to do this. And if it's done properly, who gives a shit? And if you want to do something like they did back in the day with Survivor, plenty of other games do that shit as well. So, yeah. We're probably in a healthier place now in terms of, you know, this kind of stuff. What is it? It's a game. Platforms, PS5, Series XS, This is like a fucking dead weight on developers, dude. It's crazy. PT, Steam. They're like not on Epic, I guess. But I think that's about all the news we have so far, which is actually quite a bit more than you would think. But there's also something like some puzzle on their website going on, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's to unlock like a profile picture or some shit. So I don't think that's relevant to any new news. Man, Tomb Raider fans have been spoiled. I'm just gonna put like we've not heard anything for a long time. And then kind of out of nowhere, they've done remaster 1 to 3, remaster 4 to 6. They've released through emulation Legends and Anniversary on the PlayStation Store. I don't know if they have an Xbox equivalent for that, but they've released them on the PlayStation Store through emulation with like trophy support and stuff. So you can go play that. Now they're doing this, like next year, remake of 1. In 2 years, Catalyst, like, oh. Spoiled. Good times are ahead, I think. Good times for Tomb Raider fans ahead. Catalyst Manor mode. Instead of the Stalker Butler, you get to overhear Amanda and Sam fighting over Lara while Jonah and Zip watch. Ugh, that sounds way more nastier than you probably mean it. They're fighting in a ring filled with mud. It's Rumble Roses 2 Tomb Raider DLC. I will say this, Legacy of Atlantis sounds like a Tomb Raider subtitle. Catalyst is kind of generic and sounds more like a science fiction series. I mean, sure, I don't mind Catalyst. Also, they could absolutely still change that. Like, that game is 2 years away. You know? Like, they could like, I've seen a lot of people say that the face and Lara in general from the remake kind of looks better than Catalyst. You know? And I, agree to disagree. She looks fine in Catalyst. She's supposed to be a lot older there as well, so, But, if they're like, hey, maybe people are right, they could chisel still away. It's like 2 years. You got time. Cough number 1. Fuck. It's coming back. Anyway. Let's play a game, shall we? Oh, I'm so excited. This honestly made me so happy. It's like, it's kind of just everything. Not only I want it, but like most people who are into Tomb Raider. It's like, we've had the old stuff. We loved it. That's how we fell in love with the game and the franchise and the characters, right? Then Survivor came along and it's like quite a different take on it. Good games, but definitely a different take on the character. And we unified. It was like, man, if they're gonna, like, it really is tricky to which side are they gonna, because you can combine it, but if you can stay more in the Survivor style of things. I'm really glad they kind of went. It feels like they lean more to the older stuff. They're like, yeah, she's, in the era of Tomb Raider 1, and especially in Catalyst in the timeline, she is gonna be like this very established, she's like, as in they say in the Catalyst trailer, like her name is legend, so that means, her actions and her things are to match, If Jeff was smart, the final TJ review would have been Rumble Roses 3. The question is, do you think we are in a place with video games and society where you can just do Rumble Roses 3 and nobody's gonna bat an eye? Or is that gonna be like a, oh my god. At the same time, dude, there were so many, I will say though, at the Game Awards, there were so many trailers that it starts and it's like a game that looks just like Genshin Impact, And I'm like, I've gotten to the point where I see those kind of graphics, like the anime, but like not anime, but like, you know, the Genshin Impact graphics. The second I see that, my brain is like, this is a gacha game. Even if it's not, but chances are it is. It's ruined. Every time I see those trailers, I'm like, that's a gacha game. It's gotta be, right? We'd love to see Rumble Roses 3. Yeah, me too. It will be fun. A lot of those trailers have 2027 in them. And that makes sense. We're at the end of the year, right? So the only thing, like, the games we're gonna see next year, like a good chunk of them, we already know when they're gonna come out. You know, think of your Resident Evils, your Neos, your whatever. You know, they're gonna release like in those first couple of months of the year. Those are pretty confirmed. Anything that's gonna release in like May, June, July, you know, I don't know where those are actually. Maybe we already know about them as well, mostly. Or maybe some of them are gonna do the, hey, here's the game, in 6 months you can buy it. Which, you know, they'll probably like reveal in somewhere in January or February. And anything at the end of next year is still a little early. They probably will reveal that in the summer next year. Because generally speaking, I feel like games either announce way too far in ahead, like Elder Scrolls 6 way too far in ahead, or it's like it's gonna release in like 6 months. So yeah, I think that's why the Game Awards had so much 2027 in it, because I think the 2026 stuff we either already know or it's kept under wraps to reveal it way closer to launch. You know? I don't know. That's my guess. It's also still vague, right? Because like Tomb Raider Legend of Atlantis 2026, I'm gonna bet it's at the end of 2026, because if it was early 2026 or even halfway, they might have already put the date on it. The fact that it's December now and no date, I feel like the soonest that game is gonna come out is gonna be the summer. That would be the soonest I can imagine. It's not gonna be April, you know that. Oh shit, there's someone there. Hold on. To be honest, when Rumble Roses came out, actual female wrestling was bikini contests. Female wrestling IRL is way more respectable now itself. That is true. Dude, it used to be crazy. Like, especially if you think back to, and I'm talking about American wrestling because that's like the most reference points I have. But like the Attitude Era, as it was called, dude, there were like girls just in lingerie in the ring. Like, sheesh. Even when I got like really into wrestling, that was a time period that was like after the Attitude Era. It was like way more modern, but the women's stuff was still like separate. It was like the divas and like that kind of nonsense. And somewhere on the line, along those lines, they were like, you know what, this is nonsense. The women should just have normal championships, normal stuff. And it's honestly gone better, you know? Like, old female wrestling was like, there was no content to the wrestling. It was just the oogle and google. It was basically like, oh my god, that's a crazy memory that's coming back. I don't know where that came from. Back in the day, on like MTV or TMF, if you remember, like the music channels, there was like a show which I don't even think it was a show. It was just like, okay, now it's just like 15 minutes of girls in bikinis jumping on a trampoline. Like, actually, just straight up, here's girls on a trampoline in a bikini jumping up and down. And that's it. There's like nothing else to this. That is the era we're talking about. Dude, that's such a crazy memory to come back. I've completely banished that from my memory that something like that ever existed. But man, that was gone. I was still a kid. I was young back then. That was crazy too. It's like you're watching some music videos and shit, and then it's like, okay, here's some tits, but save for TV. Oh man. Yeah, and that's the Rumble Roses era. For sure. Crazy. I guess if you make Rumble Roses now, the irony would be that it would just literally be a proper wrestling game with female characters. You know, you could do the bikini stuff as like a side mode, but like the main game would probably just be a respectable, proper wrestling game that happens to have female characters instead of a mix. To which I say, make it, let it. We need it. That would be so sick. Pragmata coming out on Switch 2 has me confused. Yeah, how is that gonna run? Even though, you know, a lot of, they've done that with the OG Switch as well, right? Where they just like stream the game. You put it on Series S, you can put it on Switch 2. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, I have no reference point to the performance of the Switch 2. For whatever reason, you mentioned it just now, like, oh, Pragmata coming out on the Switch 2. My brain put it in the same level as the Switch 1, even though the Switch 2 is obviously way more powerful compared to the Switch 1. Is the Switch 2 more powerful than a Series S? Like, honestly, the Switch 2 launch is kind of weird. It just came and went for me. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's out. That's right, the Switch 2 is already out. Correct. Like, I forget about it. What are you doing here? I knew you'd come to the director's office. If the things Anna draws become real, then you'll need help. Isabella, it's too dangerous. You should have left already. Can't leave you on your own. Anyway, it's not just me. I found us some real backup. He's on his way. Ooh, an outsider I ran to on the way here. He carries a gun and knows how to use it. He saved my life already once. He went to get more ammunition, but he promised he'd meet us here. It's gonna be Miguel, and he's the bad guy. Fine, but I can't wait around. I'm gonna scout on ahead. You hang back here, shout if anything happens. It's gonna be Miguel, and he's gonna be the bad guy. Other issues being Konami owns the rights to Rumble Roses. And they're just sitting on it. They're just sitting on it. From what I know about Switch, it's more powerful PS4 Pro. Is that it, huh? Some lower specs, but it has DLSS and stuff, so especially for 1080p screen, it's good enough. Like, if you compare it to other consoles, like, would PS4 Pro be like a good analogy in terms of capabilities? I guess here's the thing though, right? Modern games are, generally speaking, not that different from games 10 years ago. If you just crank down the graphics enough, you know, unless you have a game with like crazy amount of physics or objects or any kind of that nonsense, chances are you can just make your game run on a potato if you just turn down shit enough. Excuse me. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, I remember. This is the The password key. Forgot about that. Oh, we reset. That's nice. What? Hold on. Oh, so like the wolf is probably the moon, right? Ah, and the thorns must be the cross. Yeah, we got it, boys. Huh? Maybe the top one is not correct. Maybe this? I don't know what that symbol is, though. What else could the little circle be? Star, maybe? I don't know. I feel like it's gotta be this, right? Uh-oh. Or maybe the middle is the star and like the top. Wait. Hold on. What is the top? Is it like the sun in the middle and there's like a dot to the side? So maybe that is like... Maybe that's the moon? I am confused. What the fuck is this symbol? I can't even see what that is. What is that? Is that like just yin and yang? Or what is that? I think it's just yin yang. I guess a star. It might be a star, like a solar thing. Maybe this is it. Fuck. You know what? Let me do a quick break time because these days break time also means get the cats ready for bedtime. I'm wrapping up downstairs. So let me quickly go help Leela with that. And take a small break, and then we'll fucking crush this puzzle. All right, be right back. Poof. I'm back. All right, let's fix this puzzle. This is it, I can feel it. Fuck! The top one, I'm fairly convinced. I keep trying to rotate the camera. Do you sing to your cats to put them to sleep? No. But it's like... I mean, you're not in the know. One of our cats right now is in a bench, like in a cage, because they're broke their pelvis 7 weeks ago now. Next week, she can go out, finally. But it's become this whole... You know, like when the cats, well, like when we go to sleep, quote unquote, basically meaning like we're not gonna go downstairs anymore. I'm gonna stay here upstairs in the computer / streaming room. My wife is in like the bedroom, either reading, doing some puzzles, or going to sleep, right? So we know we're not gonna go downstairs anymore. So we have like some things we need to do, like make sure like the tap water, they can't open it, like we put something around it because they can tap it open, which they still like to do. We put like we put something on top of the cage for the cat, so for two reasons. One, it covers it a little bit, which kind of makes him feel a little safer, but also the second cat, who's still free, likes to jump on top of the cage, and it's not that sturdy, so putting something on top of it makes it not bend down as much. And there's like a couple of those things, you know, like the cats have been playing. We usually do like some playing before we go to sleep so that they're like tired physically, so that they also feel the need to go to sleep. And one of the things we do to kind of like wrap up the evening for them is like you play with them a little bit, then the playing is done and you give them a little treat. So they know like the treat is coming as a reward for the playing, but also the treat indicates that, you know, it's time to go to bed. And that's like the whole, you know, the whole rigmarole we go through each day, kind of to just make sure they have like a nice routine schedule to know, you know, okay, it's over. You guys are gonna be gone for the night. Let's just go to sleep. And so far it works. Not a single time that I've known have our cats been like up at night. They maybe walk around a little bit, you know, from one place where they're sleeping to like a different place to go sleep. But they don't play, they don't really do anything at night. And I'm very happy for that. So yeah, the top one, I'm thinking about two things, because it's like there's like a star sun-ish thing in the middle, all these circles around it, and on one of these circles is a dot. Also, sorry for the I'm like eating one of those throat thingies. But yeah, the top one either suggests it's the place of Earth compared to the sun, and it's indicating like morning, evening, whatever, or it's just like a representation of sun in the middle, what is around suns, a star. Second one, I don't know, it kind of just looks like the head thingy from Jesus. And the wolf is the wolf. So my brain went to the top one's either like a star, because it's showing the dot next to the circle sun things. Here I put the cross because that's what I associate the torn headband. I guess it could be this, because this represents the headband. But I don't think they've been that literal yet. I think is this, and then the bottom one. I had the moon before because, you know, the wolves howl at the moon. Awooga. But that ain't it. I'm fairly confident about these two, so it's the top one that's probably off. We've tried this. Maybe it's like the planet it's showing is like Venus and it's like female. Or Mars and it's male. Who knows? Aha! Yo, that's crazy that I called that. I feel like that's already a little more far-fetched. The chives? I think we're in the archives, not in the chives. These shelves contain a collection of very ugly dolls. Woo! Wake up. It's full of books that teachers would have once used for their classes. There's a stack of files, but nothing that could be helpful. Well, you don't know that, do you? It might be useful. I should bring all of them. School janitor Job's diary. Professor Teresa was died. Last night, during my usual patrol, I found Miss Teresa in her classroom. She was simply standing there staring at an empty blackboard. I asked her what she was doing there at that hour. Without taking her eyes off the board, she answered in a tired voice. Every morning, Brother Soto's son, Martin, would bring me an apple and place it in my hand. He carefully cultivated and harvested the apples in the school's nursery. I never gave him much thought. The cult chose him as an offering last month. You remember? You ate of his flesh too, Job. I had nothing to say. She told me she would stay a while longer, that she still had work to do. She hadn't walked far down the hallway when the resounding crack of a gunshot from behind me stopped me dead in my tracks. The police cleaned up the scene early the next day. The smell of putrefaction has only grown more intense. As if the professor's body was still there, slowly decomposing. We've had to close off the room and make space for the children in the basement so they can continue their classes. Can't stop thinking that God has abandoned us in this place. Damn, always tying it back to religion, eh? Looks like someone has hidden a collection of picked clean bones here. Hidden room. Wait, boss fight? Boss fight.
Oh my god, Miguel, your neck!
I'm okay for now. But he got Isabella too. And I don't think she's gonna make it.
Why is Isabella there? She was just upstairs. What are you talking
Go to
about?
her, Miguel. Things are gonna get ugly here.
Fuck. Got one more shotgun bullet. We have 2 more arrows. I do have a lot of chainsaw left, and I do have some hand cannon with recoil spring. Apparently this is the strongest gun in the game, so maybe it's useful. But I also don't want to waste it on like a middle of the game, more towards the end, but you know. This is gonna be like one of those, I want to keep it until the end, and then you finish the game without using it. Maybe I'll use it. Do you have to lure him in here, or? Whoa, he can change his trajectory mid-air? That's fucked up. Okay, this doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, so yeah, I just have to hit him enough for him to do that. Oh, it's homing, it's so fun. That killed? Oh my lord. We know what she said. We have to redo this? Oh yeah. First try? Let's go, boys. First try that shit.
Damn it.
Excuse me. I mean, hand cannon work great. I might want to stick to that. There we go. I mean, I'm gonna try the crossbow, see if that does anything. Dude, that is the homing is crazy. It basically means you have to do the dodge thing. There we go, beautiful. Out of bullets.
No.
Shotgun. Dude, if I've hit with 2 crossbows and a shotgun, I mean, I'm not gonna waste a hand cannon now. One more nails in. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shouldn't he be going for the thing now? There we go. Wait, what? Oh, I fucked up. So how does it work? So if you push him down, then he gets up and does like the rush. Okay, let's test to see how good this works. So like this, and then you stand here. Yeah, that's it. But the chainsaw might actually be goated. It only used 20 ammo. All you gotta do is like dodge. And then okay, this is taking way longer than expected. Why is he not getting hurt by it? Oh my god. Okay, so chainsaw might not be the move. Huh? Damn. It is what it is. I mean, I used up a lot of stuff. I used like 2 crossbow arrows and whatever, and a bunch of healing, but still not that bad. Like, I feel like, oh, we'll make it. That could have been done a lot cleaner, but I can't be fucked to redo it. Damn, no loot, nothing? That is stingy, boys. The devs, let it be known. Stingy. Another of Anna's drawing. This one's of the town church.
That pig-headed thing is gone. How you doing, Isabella?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything.
Hush now. There's nothing you need to say. You've given it all here today. Nobody can ask any more of you than that.
Despite my sins, God, in his eternal love, has granted me my greatest wish. Oh, don't be sad. Would you tell this old woman your name?
Uh-oh.
Miguel. My name is Miguel.
Miguel. I have a son named Miguel.
She looked after me for years. She was always incredibly kind.
Let me deal with this, Caroline. Go and find your sister. I saw a group of people headed toward the church, and there was a woman with them who looked just like you.
Will you be okay?
Don't worry about me. I've survived worse.
Okay.
He's fishy. What did Isabella say about her son? I think she mentioned it before, but I don't remember the lore. Maybe there was a giveaway there on why he's fucked up. I'm gonna save here. So we have a thing that says go back to the church, right? The story said it.
Poor
We have the
Isabella's
drawing.
dead. Cut down by that pig-headed demon.
But there's also the thing in the basement where we have to put the mask.
Miguel is badly injured too. I don't even know if he'll make it. They didn't deserve that. Just as Isabella found the son she lost, this happens. It's all so cruel. Miguel saw Anna being taken to the church. I swear, Lucia's been leading me in circles, only to drag me back to where we started. What's she up to? I have a bad feeling that everything, one way or another, will end in that church.
Uh-huh. Basement. I guess we can use this ladder and then walk. Also says question mark here, but I don't think it really is anything because it's the fuse box. I don't think there's anything else there. So I think this area should be completed other than the basement. I guess we can't leave yet. Okay, so it's still part of the area. All that I know is, you know, I don't know if it's a spoiler per se. I just happened to seen it when looking at like a trophy guide for this game. Is that there's a good and a bad ending. And apparently to get the good ending, you need to do something between the school and going back to the church. So now we're finishing the school. And supposedly to get the good ending, there's something you need to do. Now, I don't know what that is or how, or maybe we've already done it. I don't know anything about that. So what I was thinking is when the school is like completed, which I guess is now, I might just start a second save slot and continue from there. So if for what, I don't even know if that's true, but if for the trophies, if I ever were to come back and do more of them, that I have like a save state to continue from here so I can go towards the good or the bad ending depending on which one I've missed. All right. And that's it. Uh-oh. Oh god, what the fuck? Okay. I don't think we should kill all of them. That's way too many. Of course, this is a dead end. Beautiful. Oh god, they're dumb. Let's go. I don't remember what was here and why I... Oh my god. Oh god. Well, I fucked up now, didn't I? Okay. I guess I'm out of shotgun. I'm out of... Basically out of everything. I guess chainsaw. I'm just fucked. Am I really gonna use that much items here just to get out of it? Or am I just gonna reload? Let's see how this works on multiple enemies. It works well. Almost wasted all the bullets from it though. Did we do that? Might have already done this. I probably did. Man, excuse me. Guess it is getting a little bit worse. I feel like that's usually the case if you're like a bit sick. Usually like in the morning and in the evening it gets like a little worse. But yeah, I forgot about this. Another save point. So I guess we can use this to create a second save file. There we go. So I'll get either the good or the bad ending. And then I can always go back and easily do the other one. Apparently, if I didn't already... I'm assuming I'm just gonna get the bad ending unless I specifically figure out what to do to get a good ending. I don't even know what it could be. You know? Like it's probably something you need to deduce. Or maybe like a door at the beginning that you kind of skip at that point, but now I can open it. Something like that, right? I keep thinking like, what have I not done? What have I missed anywhere? There was like a lot of shit in the mall, but I think we've done most of everything there. Same with the cemetery. I think we've kind of cleared that one. There was anything else there? Processing plant. It seems unlikely, you know, getting the good ending is like something specifically to do here. Unless it's something like I need to go back to the past again somewhere. My guess is it's either... No. Maybe in the convent, there's like... I know there's walls to slam, to break. I don't remember where though. God, this is so long ago, by the way. I think here was a wall you could smash, right? Wasn't there another one? Well, this one is where we're gonna come in. What else? Bell tower, was it here? It could be. Man, I don't remember. key? Wait. Oh, fuck. How do we get in? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Does this tell us anything? Does this tell us anything? Oh god, it's going wild. How are we supposed to know this? Is there any clue? I guess there's inference we can do, like maybe it's just triple crosses. Because it's a church. Okay. Other things, potential is the whole thing they're doing is sacrificing two twins, which I think are always girls. So maybe it's something like this. And then the middle, I don't know, either the heart or the yin and yang. Let's try this. Now we're just throwing shit at the wall, huh? Aha! That thing on the floor. That makes a lot of sense. Flower, a dancer, and 3 camel riders. Flower. What would flower be? Flower, flower, flower. Maybe star. Maybe this. Dancer. What would a dancer be? A star, maybe? And then the triple dudes. Maybe that's like the religious thing. The 3 wise men. Flower. What could flower be? I guess technically flower. This could be flower. I guess maybe male or female thing, because sometimes that gets associated with gender, you know, like girls like flowers. maybe the star? Maybe like a flower shaped like it? I don't know. And we have the dude dancing. I mean, the dude dancing, I was thinking maybe it's some like someone doing like Tai Chi, so maybe yin and yang. I don't know what else dancing could be, male or female, I guess. I was also thinking maybe he's a star, because he's like, you know, he's a star. I don't know. The last one, the 3 dudes on the camels, I have no idea what that possibly could be. I'm assuming it's religion thing. I'm also not seeing anything that's like shaped in a way that has like 3 corners or 3 of anything. So I don't know what that is supposed to be. I don't see it. It could represent the cycle of the sun, I guess. Morning, noon, and I guess that should be 4 then. Fuck. Man, this is a tough... Excuse me. Tough one. Man, excuse me. God, my body's shutting down. I'm coughing. I'm getting tired. My body's like, wrap it up, dude. Flower. I'm at the point where I'm kind of just going to be surprised if it does work. You know? At some point I'm going to have all the combinations too. But I mean, that's a lot of combinations though. Yeah, what's up, waifu? Maybe just 3 men. Peak misogyny. No women allowed. What about all women? Alright? No men allowed. Damn. This is a tough one. I have no clue. I'm gonna assume for now. Flower, we're gonna pick this. The bottom one, I only can imagine the 3 camel riders in the religious sense. The male one, I really don't know what that's gonna be. It's love. Dancing out of love. It's a star. I think we've already done this combo. He's dancing in the moonlight. Now we're really just fucking... He's not dancing, he's doing Tai Chi. Fuck. Gaming Awards was mixed feelings, but we did got hype and exciting game trailers. It was alright. There was some cool shit. Some expected, like Resident Evil, it was expected. That was cool. The Tomb Raider stuff was amazing, obviously. I don't really remember that much else. Like a lot of it was just, you know, the usual suspects, right? Another gacha game or 50. I'm not like a big like Divinity person, but people seem to be pretty happy about Divinity 3. The trailer looked really cool. Especially the award winners. It was mixed feelings too. Yeah, I felt the same way though. That being said, I mean, these are awards. A big part of them are decided by the industry people, and only a portion by the voters. I guess there's like one award that's fully voter based, and that one was won by Wuthering Waves, which that has to be botted. So, you know. But yeah, I do feel like it was weird. Like, look, I've not played Clair Obscur. I've not played it. It looks cool. It looks neat. I feel like it's gotten some awards. Like I can give it Game of the Year and stuff like that. But like best music and like how I mean, again, I haven't played it, but I feel like I've just finished Death Stranding 2, and it was the music in that game is phenomenal. Like the music and audio design is beyond anything else, in my opinion. Like, it's so well used in the story and everything. It's not just good music, it's like well placed, well used. And I was like, man, how did that lose? That's fucked up. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, without oh, excuse me, man, soda, without just flaming on the game, because I don't really know anything about it because I haven't played it, but it does smell a little bit like it is the indie darling, you know, the flavor of the year, or I guess the last couple of months. I'll believe it's a very good game, but it also feels like it came out at a time, it got the hype, and that kind of like carried over to the Game Awards. Whereas a game like Death Stranding 2, that's established. It's almost like a faux pas, because like Kojima and Jeff are, you know, so friendly, and it's like if Death Stranding would have won something, you know, people might get angry at that. So it definitely feels like Clair Obscur was like the darling that kind of couldn't do anything wrong. Yo, Neon, what's up? Welcome. Kicking down doors, eh? It's been a while. Has it ever? Dude, I have not had a doorbell in years. Months, let's say. Thank God you guys are here. I need smart people. I need expert puzzlers. Right? I need expert puzzlers. Riddlers. Smart people. See, I can't even use words. I need smart people. Okay? Excuse me. I'm a little sick still. I'm a little bit sick. A little bit sick. It's my cue to leave. You can get sick through the internet. I mean, I guess you can. If you talk enough to ChatGPT, You will kill yourself. Oh, that is so crazy. I'm laughing, it's true. So we have this key, all right, boys and girls. We have a key with symbols. I need to select the correct 3 symbols to insert into here. What should be the correct combination? Oh, dude, that would have been oh my god, that would have been too perfect if I just randomly did something and it's like correct. That would be so fucking sick. And here are 3 things on the floor, which is the hint to which symbol you need to select, right? And previously it was like there's a wolf, so you need to pick the moon symbol, right? Stuff like that. This one makes no sense to me. Flower, either dancing man or fighting man, and then 3 riders, like camelback riders. I have no idea. I've gone so far with the 3 camelback riders is like it's religious. It's like the 3 wise men. So I put the cross. I put like the yin and yang symbol for the Tai Chi dude, and then the top. Well, it could mean love, but I literally just tried this and it didn't work. So, you know. I tried again and it still didn't work. So I don't know. Flower is female. I also tried that. But the problem is which combination of everything I tried. I don't know. Maybe the thing is the flower is a star. I don't know. What's the name of the flower? I don't know. Do you think is it a rose? A rose has thorns. What else has thorns? This thing, which is literally the first thing I selected. Here we go. This is it, boys. Shit. Star could be bottom because in the desert you orient by stars. But we're not in the desert. Unless you say the camels mean all the symbols are. But like a flower wouldn't be in the desert. I guess, like a rose. What if it's just it's a fighting dude? Dudes be fighting, all right. What if, all right, hear me out. What if it's not a fighting man, it's a dancing man and he's a star. He's the star of the show. You're free to listen, but I usually end up with brute forcing in the end. See, this is the thing though. So far, I have not brute forced anything in this game. Even there's been like a couple of key puzzles so far. I've nailed them every time. I mean, I've had a couple of tries, but the logic that in the end worked made a lot of sense. This one I'm kind of stumped on. I guess the only puzzle, I guess you could call it brute forcing. That weird one in the beginning where we had like one clue and it solved 2 puzzles with the same solution, which I'm pretty sure one of those puzzles probably had a different hint to solve it. But like the same hint worked exactly for both of them, which was really weird. Anyway, flower. Let's put our thinking caps on. Maybe it's one of those flowers you put at a grave. So maybe the cross sign is on top. Maybe it's cross, yin yang cross. There we go. We solved it. Easy. Boys, this game's too easy. Alright. Too easy. Is it like a jumping game? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Maybe the format. Like it's a jumping game. It could also be a dice unfolded. But I don't know. Maybe, aha, actually, oh, maybe Beaver is correct, but not because of the desert, but because of the shape, kind of implies the rose is the bottom of the key. No? Because this might be like the handles and this is the keyhole. So maybe we do have to put the flower. No, actually, they would still put the flower here. Fuck! I'm dumb. Okay, let's listen to Beaver. What if it's shit? I already had the cross at the top. Let's do the inversion desert theory. Is this flower? We'll try a couple of things. Flower love, let's go. God, the annoying part is you have to manually fucking drag the these motherfuckers. Like, yeah, just get it right, dumbass. The flower looks like a star. I don't know. Let's try female. That is not female. And then camel would be first. I guess if you wouldn't the camel be first if it's the jumping game? Yes, that is true. But like but we just put the camel on top. Heart, yin yang, star. Alright, let's go. Beaver just googled it. He's like, look at how smart I am, dude. Yeah, because the wise men, they followed the stars, no? Oh, you googled it, didn't you? You fucking googled it. Dude, we were so close. So I guess that I was wrong on the camels. It was the religious interpretation. But it was them following the stars to the crib of Jesus. Of Jesus. Did they use camels? I think so, right? Didn't the wise men cross the desert on camels to go to Jesus? They used the bus? They used the bus straight to Israel. All right, I guess we're off to the races. Oh shit. Anna. Anna.
Are you okay?
Thank you for joining us, Caroline. You can witness the last mess of this filthy church and its impotent god.
Just give me my sister, Lucia. There's nowhere left
Just
to run.
blast a needle through her
Anna
head.
still has a
Grab the
role
nail
to
gun.
play in the story, just as you do.
Yes! Crucify that bitch! Oh shit.
Caroline, what's happening to me?
He's using the hole technique. The hand hole technique. Oh no.
Caroline, help
Then stop playing games with me, girl. If you want to save your sister, find me in the underground depths below the church. That's where the true temple of God lies, and where our destiny.
You could just climb over, just saying. But then what? Bitch nurse is immortal. Seemingly.
I'll be
Or
Hold on.
her
just a
brain is
little
so
longer, Aaron.
tiny, the nails didn't even reach. That's also possible. Maybe she's just that underdeveloped. You know? There's no map for this place. What are you talking about? We have a map of this place. Dumbass. This is the church. We've been here. 3 paintings depict the stations of the cross. Damn. He's standing up, he's taking a nap, and then he's taking a long nap. I hope nobody in here is like a devout Christian. I guess you wouldn't be watching this game as a devout Christian to begin with, huh? Damn, should we know this? Is this like something we need to remember? Like, 7 is him crawling. 8 is standing. 9 is crawling again, I guess. Oh shit, that's a door. The arcade? Wait. Go back. We need to explore this place. This is the way forward. Let's explore here a little more. Blocked. Who's this guy? Archangel Michael, you know, Miguel. Oh shit, hold on. Let's smash some relics. 2 green symbols on the ground. Oh. Where are we seeing green symbols? Oh, you mean the lights? Three paintings depicting the stations of the cross. Damn. It's always the same, huh? He's either on the floor with the thing or standing up with the thing. Elevator? Shit. Oh shit. Commercial district? Okay, back in. Here we are again. Bang! So it's like the Avengers of Jesus, the theme of this game. No, it's like this church that sacrifices children to summon some kind of demon or whatever. But I think because they're in a church, or that's like their cover, I think that's why we're getting a lot of church themes. The wake room. Oh no. Boys, avert your eyes. We are in the woke room. The awoken room. Don't get caught by the woke mind virus. There are blood splatters all over this coffin. No sign of a corpse. The first part of the priest is a big bad guy. Yeah, I mean, it was the same deal, right? This is a continuation. It's basically, I don't want to say the same story, but it's the same idea. They want to use the two twins to do some kind of, you know, summoning nasty shit thing. I don't know. Sister Angelica's notepad. A sacred mission. Mother Lucia, that's the one we nailed. Mother Lucia has given me a task as unusual as it is important. As we all know, God resides within every being that walks his green, flat earth. That power which dwells within us all is infinite. I must find a way to harness it in the name of God. Mother Lucia says that our mission is to guide humanity to the next evolutionary step through science and with the Lord's blessing. I will confine myself to this laboratory until I have achieved my goal. There can be no distractions. Yeah, no porn, no distractions. God has spoken through Mother Lucia and has blessed me with his task. My life is the Lord's, and I live for him. Vagrant storage. And they got candles and shit. Oh, rubber hose. I missed the huge nun. First boss fight. Big nun. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. I'm so out of bullets of everything. We're so fucked. Let's do the automatic nailer. Let's nail him. It's the puker. Ooh, get dodged, bitch. Was the inventory screen in the first game so cluttered? I think so. It's basically the same. They did remove the cheese in the previous game. You could like reload from the menu, but it would skip the animation, so you could like you could cheese a lot of stuff by instant reloading. They got rid of that. What's the rubber hose for? Is there something in there? Can we finally use the wire? The hammer's pretty cool. It's slow though, but it can be nice. We have a couple. I guess I have some shotgun shells again. We could reload that. It's always useful. All right. There was an elevator. Let's see if we can take the elevator. Elevator. Well, there you have it, boys. The hose fell off. Let's clamp it down. Let's wire it down. There is no fucking way. There is no fucking way That item has been in my inventory since like the first hour of the game. What the fuck, dude? I wanted to make a joke. What the fuck? That is not okay. That is so not okay. Not only is this bullshit, they stole my joke. That is not okay. It wasn't even funny. It was haha, I've had this item for a while. What the fuck? It still doesn't work? Maybe we just need to be fast. We were there. We were right there. Okay, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That is so fucking stupid, dude. What does that even do? If you twist it with your hands, it's just the same, dude. Just because we cut the wire, like the poking out. Oh my god, there's no shot, dude. Dude, the wire, that is so crazy. Plumbing Sim 2025. Plumbing Sim will go hard. Because guess what? If you can make a plumbing sim game that's like accurately doing the plumbing, dude, that's a good job these days. Like unironically, if you can be a plumber, like actually, you know, you do the work, not like as a contractor for like a plumbing company, but actually doing plumbing, that makes so much money these days. Same with electricians, same with like literally anything that's like doing something in people's houses. Makes so much fucking money. It's hard work, don't get me wrong. It's like a fucking physical job. But, you know, there's people with physical jobs who earn way, way, way less. Costs a lot of money too. Yeah, I guess that's the issue, getting started. Takes a bit of capital to get that shit going. You need to build a clientele base. Once you have all that, you're, you know, sailing smooth. But it's getting there, right? Isn't that how it usually goes? To make more money, you need money. Once you have initial capital, you can do all kinds of shit. The fucking window is gonna be a puzzle, huh? That is too suspicious. Can we shoot the window? Aim at it, bitch. Okay. Also have to deal with people who have moolah, don't want to spend it. Homeowners. I disagree. I mean, I guess it depends on the age. People of my age who are homeowners, they don't have money because they spend it on their fucking house. Old people? Dude, old people are crazy. They're like, yeah, I remember paying a lot for my house back in the day. And they're like, how much did you pay? Oh, like in the 50s? Like 2,000 euros. Like they say they say like the amount, because for us it was like in Belgian francs or whatever it was back in the day, right? So they put like a number. It's like, oh, we pay like 500,000, but in euros it's like divided by 40 or something. They pay like what you would pay for a car now, they paid for their house. And then it's like, oh, and if you want to sell your house, what is it worth? About, you know, 600,000 to 700,000. Only that. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. They got away with it. There's a part of me that hopes that now that I've purchased a house, you know, like in 20 years from now, it's even more expensive. But that's a trap though. Like, I think it's bad in general that houses are like an investment commodity. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of like one of the few ways, if you manage to purchase a house, automatically your brain is like, well, I kind of want it to appreciate in value now, because why the fuck am I else paying for like 20 years for this bitch? But it would generally be better for just society as a whole if we just viewed houses as like shelter for people. Someone tried to perform a ritual. It's covered in blood, but there's no sign of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Not only that, they're also the generation that brought the inflation upon us. Yeah, they had like the most crazy, perfect economic times. And then when you complain about anything financial, they're like, dude, we had it tough too. You don't understand. And it's like, whatever they bring up, it's like such a nothing burger compared to now. If I have to hear one more fucking time that my parents had to pay 11% like fucking what is it, like what's the English word for that, like the amount you pay on your, I don't know what the English word is, like your not like the index, the whatever it is, you need to pay extra, right? You loan your money, let's say you loan like 200k. If you have to tax, no, not like the extra you need to pay back. So if you, let's say you loan like 100,000 and you need to pay 11%, whatever it is. I mean, and it's not even 11% of the 100,000 interest. That's the English word, interest. Yeah, the interest you pay on it. Because like nowadays it's way lower than like true, back in my parents' day, the interest you would have to pay back to the bank was really high, like 11, 12, 13%, which was high. But even if you calculated it, the total price they paid for their house converted to like current money was like 20k. It was ridiculous. It was such a low amount of money. It doesn't matter how much interest. That could have been 50% interest. You could have still paid that off easy. There's a skeleton in the open. Is this like a bad guy, or is he gonna attack us? He is! Ay, ay, ay. Should we hammer him? What should we do? Shotgun, nail gun. Let's nail him. There it is, boys. Just like that. Health kit, we like that. But yeah, that's like the typical, you know, from my parents' generation, they always bring up the crazy interests they had to pay. Now keep in mind though, what they never talk about, no matter what money amount they bring up, they never ever ever will talk about what their income is and what percentage of their income they actually spent on their house and bills and whatever. Because, you know, my parents' advice was always, well, if you're gonna buy a house, never pay more like a fourth or a third of your paycheck maximum. And they're talking about a single paycheck, right? They, like, my dad, like my mom never, she had a job very early on for like a couple of years, but ever she started having kids, she's been at home. She's been like the classic man, I'm bad with English words today. The house mom, whatever it's called in English. She's been like that forever. That was, and then so my dad had a single pay, and their down payment for their house, or like the monthly fee for it, for the loan, was like less than a third of their income. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Just gotta think that a guy Like Al Bundy was supposed to be a poor guy while owning a house with wife and kids. That's how much perspective. That's true, right? Al Bundy and fucking married with children. He has like and not a fucking big house too, right? Like if you look at the house, it was a pretty fucking big house. At least from the, I mean, that might be a set, you know, they may be maybe a little bigger than normal. But yeah, he has like a house, multiple kids, a wife. He's the one who has like, he was like a shoe salesman. He's like in the stores fitting and selling shoes. And he's paying for all of that. It's so fucking crazy, dude. Safe room. Pretty sure that never worked outside of a sitcom, not even in the US. Probably. Though I guess, you know, like I said, my dad for the longest time just had, I think he worked like at the same place for like almost 20 years. Until he got like laid off right before he turned 50. And that was like the typical, oh, we're downsizing, we're, you know, selling to China or whatever the fuck where they were going. And then he needed to do the whole job hopping thing. But before that, it was just like, he got the one job. And like, dude, I have 3 siblings. So the household I grew up in was 6 people, right? Now, one of them came a little later, but most of us were born pretty soon after each other, right? That's been a single paycheck home for the fucking forever. My mom, like, since they had kids, she never worked anymore. And they pulled that off. So that is definitely different times. And not only that, they have money saved up. Like, anyway, let's read a little bit, an excerpt from Mother Lucia's diary. Finally, the puppet virus is complete. Every twist, every inconvenience, it's all part of the design. Well done, Angelica, your timing was impeccable. Now, put the sect under my control there. Oh, excuse me. The soda kicking up. Your timing was impeccable. Now, with the sect under my control and Nautilus's power at my command, nothing stands in my way. Your mission is fulfilled, Angelica, and now I must take care of you. Cannot risk the puppet virus falling into the hands of anyone else. Damn, she got killed. It's like I got to take care of it. Test tubes, we like it. That's ammo for a crossbow. The safe thing is here. I was kind of hoping for a map. Tapes to record, we love that. It's an anti-grandfather clock, nice. Okay, let's do a little saving. Second slot.
Lucia is calling the shots right now, and I'm terrified. She showed me the total power she has over Anna, making her levitate and scream with pain right in front of my eyes. She warned me that if I want to save her, I have to go to the catacombs beneath the church. I'm sure it's a trap, but what choice do I have?
Yeah, you're basically fucked. I am gonna quickly go back because here's what I'm thinking, right? Even though I saved, and that's probably where I'm gonna wrap up for today, I very quickly moved into this area and then continued on. Whereas I think when I went into this area, there were some other places to explore. And I want to see, did I miss anything? Are there different roads, or is it just items I missed? Just for reference next time. Because, you know, I was up here, I went in there, but I'm sure I can move over here. there might be some stuff here too, you know? See? Whoa, 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 whoa. Leave me alone, amigo. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's a trap! Okay, bozos. I'm not done exploring there. God. Shit, this is a dead end. Hold on, hold on. Let's run a loop. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect dodge. Shit! Imperfect dodge, but it's still a dodge. Okay? Imperfect dodge is still a dodge. Actually, I'm not gonna save. So I might as well just shoot them, right? Probably the best way to do it anyway. When I get back here next time. I do want the items, but... Because, I mean, there were shotgun shells here. Might as well use one of them. Just line them up in a hallway and blast them. That's a lot of enemies for a single painkiller and shotgun ammo. I still want it, though. So I guess that's the only thing I missed. Alright. Man, this has been such a fucking cool game. I love how they really were like, hey, people love the first game. You know, they're clearly liking, you know, it's like a little, you know, it's definitely an indie game, but you know, there's plenty to love in the first game. They're like, let's just do the same thing, but like bigger, better. Like it's a proper sequel. And it's fantastic. I love it. What do you mean there's no map? We have a map for this place though, right? Oh, we're behind the thing now? Oh. Coil nails. I read cock nails. Like, jeez, what are they doing here? Oh, shit. 'Twas in those moments when the cross weighed heaviest upon his shoulders that the demons attempted to extinguish his inner flame. Okay, the puzzle is all the paintings where Jesus is carrying the cross when it was weighing the heaviest on his shoulders. So either the one where he's like holding it but falling on his knees, maybe the ones where he's on the ground because it was the heaviest. Those are the ones you need to light. Okay, so we know what to do next time. We have our objective for next stream. Oh, okay. But do we remember it? Yes. Because in here, we are smart. And when we leave, we're dumb. But when we come back on Monday, we'll be smart again. That's how that works. So if you want to be smart, you gotta be back here on Monday. You know what I mean? It's Friday, right? Fuck. It's been a weird week for me. Fake cab follower. What? What? Lo and behold, the next game is an action game because that still better wouldn't surprise me. I hope not. I also don't know what they're making of this. Like, clearly the first game was successful enough to make a second game. The second game is obviously bigger in scope because it's not just one place. It's like the church mostly, but then everything outside. The voice acting is clearly better. Like, just is it in general a better game than the first one? So clearly they must have earned enough of an increase to justify increasing the cost on this game. I really hope they're making money off of this, because, you know, it's not, I mean, I guess this genre, like, I think horror games are fairly popular these days. Fairly. But this one has like the old school vibes to it. I don't know how many people like it. You don't follow them on Twitter? These developers or what? I don't know. I don't. So. Anyway, I already saved. We'll redo the little thingy next time. Shit. Did they mention anything about their sales on Twitter? Oh, you can take a look. I think I do follow them though. Tormented Souls, dual effect games. They're kind of just posting when the patch is out. Sure they tell in the tweets their game is successful or not. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice though, right? If studios were honest about that. Like, hey, game's doing great. Guess people wouldn't believe him anyway. These days. These days people would be like, what? You're not selling 5 million copies? Dead game. Just be aware player numbers don't reflect sales. Learned that from Ubisoft. I feel like I learned pretty early on, just in general in life, whenever anything or anyone publishes something with numbers, you kind of always have to look at how they're naming, or because they're always sneaky with it. Every time in the news there's a percentage, you should kind of calculate the actual number, because whenever they use a percentage, it's either to make it seem bigger or smaller. That's usually how it goes, or vice versa. The amount of times, you know, oh my god, the government spent X amount of money on this or whatever, and then they put the number, right? They're not saying how much percent increase it is. They're not whatever, right? It's always like a huge number, because on government level, it is, we are talking about high numbers that are like not in people's daily lives. So that always makes it sound way bigger than it is. That's something that really, I think, what was it? God, there was like an article, and this is like when I was very young, like I was like 13 or 14. And it was like this thing about, oh, eating potato chips increases the chance of getting cancer. Like the chance of getting cancer from it is like an increase of like 60% if you eat, you know, a certain amount of potato chips. It's like, oh my god, that's a giant number. Wow, that is crazy. I'm so scared to eat potato chips now. And then when you actually look at the numbers, it's like, well, the increase of chance is like from 0.01% to 0.016%, like something like that. It's like, well, that's a 60% increase, you know? It's like, well, yeah, but it's still like a stupid low number. And it was like, it was a very silly article like that had like an extremely skewed number that way. But it kind of immediately taught me like, oh, they just use numbers in a way where it kind of tries to make their point unless you really look into the actual numbers, like what that means, compare it. And to this day, this has never failed. When I open up any news article, if there's a percentage, calculate the fucking number, because I'm sure they're trying to mess with it. And if there's a number, be fucking sure to put it in the context, because 9 out of 10, the absolute number is designed to make it look way bigger or way smaller than it in reality is. It's always something like that. And yeah, same with companies and their shareholder bullshit. If they're talking about player numbers, that means they don't want to talk about sales numbers. If they mention sales numbers, then you know the main business. Yeah, downloads is another one. Active players is another one. That's a cool one. Active players. Because there's no definition of what that means. It sounds like it's people who boot up the game like at least once a week, right? That's an active player. At least once a week, maybe even once a day. But like some I've seen it where they're like, well, we define an active account as one that's played in the last 6 months. It's like, well, that means nothing. Like those are like vague terms. Active is just if you wanna include people who haven't played for a year in active, you could do that. It makes no sense logically, but they don't care about logic. They care about twisting reality to make it seem a certain way. Master playing those numbers was the tobacco industry, dude. This crazy shit. Crazy shit. I wonder if we're gonna look back on like the current days in like when we're old geezers and there's gonna be like laws and shit from what we're doing now where we're like, man, that's crazy, we allowed that, huh? Remember from Diablo, 4 million downloads? Yeah. It's always that. Downloads, accounts, you know, pre wish listed. That's a new one. Wish list the game. Please wish list. I'm tired. I'm out of here. See now on the new heroes? New heroes? Oh, like the heroes of Might and Magic? Pre-wish list now. I mean, I'm sure wish listing is like a metric they use for their shareholders. That's usually what it comes down to, right? It's just like in their quarterly shareholder meeting, they want to be like, well, look at how many people have wish listed this game. That means that many sales, right? Which I already know is not true, because you know how I use the wish listing? I wish list things on my PlayStation account because I want to know the release dates of stuff that's coming out. And then I go buy it physical on launch or not, depending on it. Like, for example, I have the 007 game in my wish list. I'm not buying that digital. Hell no. But it's in there, so then I open my wish list. I have like an overview of games to come with their release date. Easy. $1 million wish lists. That's like, oh, in the music industry, that's also funny. It's like, oh, my new album's coming out. Make sure to go on Spotify and like pre-save or like pre-add to your library. So when the album comes out, it's automatically added to your library, which is basically just it's added to your like favorites. 6 million guns. Actually, just 6 with slightly different numbers. Yeah, Borderlands. We got a bajillion guns. Mm-hmm. Like the same gun. Well, we changed the fire rate by 5%. Different gun. Technically true. You know, technically true. The Art of Bullshito. That one's great. That one is great. There's like so many cool words like that for like the trickery you can do. You know, the classic one is techno babble, when you're just talking a bunch of jargon from like your field. Like usually in tech, it's being used in tech a lot, where they just throw out all these kinds of words that until people can't follow along, but it's like kind of nonsense. There's like a word for statistics like that as well, where you're just fucking showing statistics in a way that it completely bends the reality. It's like, dude, my favorite is there is like a graph. Fuck, what was it? What name again? There's like 2 examples. One of them is, I think, an American news thing at some point to prove, like, I think it was for climate change, that like it wasn't happening. They put the graph and they're like, see, it's going down. They inverted the y-axis. So on the top of the axis was 0. So they just like flipped the graph horizontally. It's like, well, technically, you know, the graph is correct. It's just like so counterintuitive. That is nonsense. And there's like another one. I think it's the graph of like what's it called? There's like a graph, like when people explain how good you are at a skill, you know, like the graph of like you're getting better, and then there's like a dip of like you're stuck, and that's when most people quit, and then it goes up. And I think that graph is wrong. Or like it's like people call it's the graph of like whatever, but it's not, and it's like a different thing. And the graph is like similar, the real one, but I don't remember what it was. Or was it for like the Dunning-Kruger effect? Something along those lines, where the actual graph that everyone knows is wrong, and it's about learning and it's I can't explain. It's been too long. I don't remember. I don't know the fun fact anymore. Damn it. I think it's Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger effect graph. Cool guide to the actual Dunning. Oh yeah, it is a Dunning-Kruger. Yeah, that was the joke, because the Dunning-Kruger effect is that I'm reading Wiki now. It's the cognitive bias that describes the systematic tendency with people with a low ability in a specific area to give an over positive assessment of the ability. And there's like a graph that a lot of people bring up for the Dunning-Kruger effect, but it's the wrong graph, which kind of proves the Dunning-Kruger effect, as in people think they know a lot about it, and with full conviction throw out this graph. It's like, oh, that's the one, and it's not the graph. Let me see if I can show it. So it's so funny, dude. Oh, I'm gonna pull this up. Hold on. This is like an actual fun thing to know, not because you can badly quote it like I just did, but it's just an interesting thing how the graph is supposed to prove something, and like the proof is in the putting of the graph. It's so funny. This one, hold on, I have it pulled up. I'm just gonna put it on stream now. So this is the graph you often see. Oh, it's gonna pull a YouTube video. No, we don't want that. But this is the graph you're often gonna see, right? Something like this. Can we not bigger? Yeah, it's like so many people have seen this graph. Oh, it's the peak amount, stupid new material, value of blah blah blah. And like I don't even think that that's a thing, like the Dunning-Kruger effect. But I think this graph is a real graph. I just don't think it's the Dunning. It doesn't apply to Dunning-Kruger. This is just like in terms of skill level at any given skill, is like a very common pattern of like, yeah, confidence and experience. But that's not exactly. I mean, the real graph is this one. But it is funny because Dunning-Kruger is literally about, you know, thinking you know a lot about it when you don't. It's crazy. It's such a funny... How is that real, dude? That the most common graph you find for Dunning-Kruger is the wrong one. That's so crazy. Beautiful curve indeed. It's still right though, just displayed differently. Are we diving into a Dunning-Kruger rabbit hole? I mean, not really, right? Like, if you look at the real one... God, we're doing fucking math now. Jesus Christ. What has this stream become? We were just playing a fun little horror game. Now we're doing fucking science. Doing science. I think with the other graph, it goes like up and then down again. You know, because the other graph is also... the score, I guess... I guess the other graph, what did they put? Like confidence and like competence here. The real one shows your actual skill will be eventually higher than your perceived skill. Yeah, but it does not. What is this actually showing? Okay, perceived is this one. So the real one says your perceived skill is higher up until a certain point. And then it flips. Right? I don't think the other one says that at all. So this one, so confidence, experience. I guess what's mostly wrong about this one is there's no crossover. They just say early on. So it already begins kind of wrong with it almost starts at 0. Whereas the real one, they don't really start at the same place. They start at a pretty high score of confidence already. Where these kind of start at 0. You go up to high confidence, low skill. Then you go down in very low confidence, but beginning to get better at skill, and then it starts to go up again until here, but there's no correlation here, like, because the real thing is your experience is going to be far higher than your actual confidence. So like, what, this doesn't make sense then. This should be a linear thing, but like a lower slope than for this graph. This is just wrong. This is just, there's no numbers. Yeah, and that's, you can't put numbers on this graph, because if you were to make this graph with numbers, you will never get this. This graph is a vibes graph. This is basically the vibe coding equivalent of graphs, because this up and then the bump down and then the bump up again, it makes logical sense to people. You can see this, it makes logical sense. It's just not accurate. If you show this is correct. It's like, well, you have slightly higher confidence than your skill, and at some point it flips. It's a less interesting story than, well, you're gonna be very good at something, or think you're very good but not really good, and you're gonna hit a wall. The thing is, I think this is true though, but not for Dunning-Kruger. I think this is true for improvement in a skill. Right? I think this graph comes from the idea of, because here they kind of mastery 10k hours. That has nothing to do with Dunning-Kruger though, really. But I think the real, where this graph comes from is from how fast you improve, your rate of improvement, where if you start learning a new skill early on, you go from 0 skill and 0 improvement rate. You increase in improvement rate because the early skill sets really escalate usually very quickly, and then you're gonna hit a peak of like, the easy shit is out of the way, and now you probably need to either practice the easy stuff to get better or whatever, and you hit like a hard wall of improvement. So this, and once you get past that wall, you start improving again at a more steady pace. I feel like that's where this graph comes from originally. But it has nothing to do with the confidence. I think this graph is purely the relation between your skill level and your rate of improvement in said skill instead of confidence. I think they just, at some point, these two got confused. Oh shit, this is the 80-20 rule flipped horizontally. Yep. I mean, that's basically it, right? But it has nothing to do with Dunning-Kruger. That's just Dunning-Kruger showing its face. People who think this is about it, but don't really know. What a side tangent. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Anyway, now you know. And maybe this is the first time you heard of Dunning-Kruger as well. Who knows? What's the other one? There's another, not Dunning-Kruger, but there's another one with like a weird name like that. It's like the one where if you start noticing, or it's like, let's say you've never heard of different example. Let's say your friend bought a red Tesla, and then you start driving around, and in the next couple of weeks, suddenly you see red Teslas all over the fucking place. There's like a name for that phenomenon, and it's like a weird name. It's like the confirmation bias. There's like there's a general term for it, which I think is not confirmation bias, but the man, I'm so bad with words today. What the fuck? The original name is like, it's like a German word. It's like the, I don't remember. I'm gonna find it. How do you even begin to Google something you don't know? Seems something more once learning about it. Exactly. The frequency bias or frequency illusion, also known as, this is the one I was talking about, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. That's the name. Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Which is called that way because the one who who coined the term learned about Baader-Meinhof and then suddenly saw them everywhere or something. But the The more common name now is the frequency illusion. Wrong. DOA1 image. The frequency illusion, also known as the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, cognitive bias in which a person notices a specific concept, word, or product more frequently after becoming aware of it. So yeah, it happens all the time. Once you know of something, suddenly you see it everywhere. You know? The letter describes how, through mentioning the name of the German militant group Baader-Meinhof, he kept noticing it. This led to his readers sharing their own experience with the phenomenon, leading it to gain recognition. Well, no, 2005, when Stanford linguistic professor Arnold Swilly wrote about this effect in this blog, the name frequency illusion was coined. It's crazy. It took until 2005. It took 10 years, 11 years to move away from Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. That's crazy, dude. Frequency illusion is a way better name. It is kind of close to confirmation bias, but it's not really the same thing, is it? Because confirmation bias is more about like looking for a specific outcome, I guess. Like looking at research or evidence or whatever with a certain endpoint in mind and twisting everything towards it, I guess, right? We're on fucking Wikipedia. What exactly is it? Tendency to search for, interpret, favor, call it the way that confirms, supports one belief. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, I guess they're kind of related, right? Because this is the same way. You have a certain thing in mind, and then the information that comes in kind of wants to form and like twist to fit that narrative. Same way if you learn about something and see it a lot, it's like it's only because you have that in your head that the information that comes in, it was always there, but now you start to pick it out. So I mean, they are kind of related in a sense. Confirmation bias is the backbone of YouTube's recommendation algorithm. Literally every algorithm, though. Process is kind of the same. The underlying intent is different. Yup. I would say they're like related, but they're definitely not the same thing. Anyway, I'm out of here, boys. It's getting late. Yeah. I should be back on Monday. I should be better by then. I'm also on holiday from work for like 3 weeks, so should, you know, I don't see anything coming up and disturbing streams unless I get sick more. So yeah, we're close to finishing this game. Yes, it's such a fun game. All right, guys, have a good one. Have a good weekend. And yeah, now that you've seen my stream, your frequency bias will allow you to see my stream on Monday, because you will recognize me again. Alright guys, have a good weekend. See you on Monday.